So hi guys, in this video we are going to discuss about heme synthesis. The synthesis of heme will be discussed under the following headings. To start with, a brief introduction about the structure and functions of heme, then the site, that means where it is synthesized, then how it is synthesized, how this synthesis is regulated, and finally what will happen if there is some defect in this synthesis. Okay, so not only heme synthesis, any metabolic pathway, it is good to explain under these headings. Okay, so first we have to start with a brief introduction about heme. So heme is nothing but a porphyrin ring, which in turn is a tetrapyrrole structure. So this is the pyrrole ring. Tetrapyrrole means when four such pyrrole rings are joined together by methynyl bridge, that means CH bridge, it forms a porphyrin ring. We have many different types of porphyrins in our body. Okay, so based on the side groups attached to the pyrrole ring. If these side groups are acetic acid and propionic acid on all the pyrrole rings, then the porphyrin ring is called as uroporphyrin. Okay, this uroporphyrin 1 is a symmetrical structure. That means when you divide the structure like this, it will be looking similar on both the sides. Okay, having two acetic acid and two propionic acid on either side. But if the acetic acid and the propionic acid side chain in fourth pyrrole ring is interchanged, then it forms a asymmetrical structure which is called as uroporphyrin 3. In our human body, we mainly have this 3 series compounds. Okay, we don't have much of type 1 compounds. We mainly have uroporphyrin 3 and other 3 series compounds. Okay, next, instead of acetic acid in this as a side chain, if it has a methyl group as a side chain, then we call that porphyrin as coproporphyrin. Okay, if it is acetic acid and propionic acid, then it is uroporphyrin. Okay, if it is methyl group and a propionic acid group on all the pyrrole rings, then it is called as coproporphyrin. Okay, next, in this coproporphyrin, if the propionic acid chain in the first and the second pyrrole ring are replaced by vinyl group, then it forms protoporphyrin 3, or sometimes it is also called as protoporphyrin 9. Okay, both are same only, you can use any name. So this is the structure of protoporphyrin. Okay, so this protoporphyrin is like the Thanos ganglet without the precious stone. So when you install a precious stone, the iron atom in its center, it gets transformed into heme. Okay, so this is the structure of heme. It is a protoporphyrin ring with iron atom at its center. Got it? Next, coming to its function, we all know that heme is very much needed for the synthesis of hemoglobin. But other than hemoglobin, it is also needed for the synthesis of myoglobin, cytochromes, catalase and peroxidase enzymes, tryptophan pyrrolase, and even for nitric oxide synthase. Okay, so that's it about the introduction part. Next, we will move on to the site. Under site, you should always explain 2 things. The first one is inside our body, in which organ or in which tissue it takes place. Second, inside the tissue, in which organelle it takes place. So first we will see in which organelle it is taking place. Our heme synthesis, few reactions of the heme synthesis takes place in mitochondria, whereas the remaining takes place in the cytoplasm. Okay, so which reactions takes place in mitochondria and which in cytoplasm, I will explain you in the coming slides. As of now, you just remember that it takes place partly in mitochondria and partly in cytoplasm. Next, coming to which organ. Just now we saw that cytochromes are one of the heme containing compounds. We all know that cytochromes are the key components in electron transport chain. To support the electron transport chain, we need heme in all the tissues. So the heme synthesis operates in almost all the tissues of our body. Though it is synthesized everywhere, the major heme containing compound is hemoglobin. So the major synthesis takes place in the RBC. Okay, RBC means not in the mature RBC. It takes place in the stage of normoblasts. Okay, next to RBC, the second major site for heme synthesis is liver, where the heme containing compounds like cytochromes and other enzymes are needed in excess for carrying out the metabolism, detoxifications, etc. Okay, so to sum up, it takes place almost in all the tissues, but predominantly in RBC and in liver. Okay, so within this RBC and liver, it takes place partly in mitochondria and partly in cytoplasm. Okay, so that's it about the site. Next, we will move on to the pathway in detail. Okay, so the two raw materials required for heme synthesis are succinyl-CoA and glycine. It is only from these two raw materials the entire part of porphyrin ring is synthesized. Okay, so for this conversion, the reactions involved can be broken into 4 different parts. In the first part, we will see how this raw material succinyl-CoA and glycine is used to construct a pyrrole ring. Okay, next, after constructing a pyrrole ring, 4 such rings will be joined together to form a porphyrin ring. Okay, unfortunately, when we join 4 pyrrole rings, we are getting uroporphyrin ring. Okay, but heme is made up of protoporphyrin. Okay, so in the next part, we will be converting this uroporphyrin into protoporphyrin. Okay, finally, to this protoporphyrin ring, we are fixing an iron atom at its center to form the heme structure. Okay, so this is how heme is synthesized. Okay, so this is just an outline or overview. Now we will see in detail about each one of this part. Okay, so first we will see how to construct pyrrole ring with succinyl-CoA and glycine. So in the first step, the succinyl-CoA will condense with glycine to form an intermediate, which immediately loses its carboxyl group to form a product called as aminolevulinic acid, which is shortly called as ALA. Okay, so the enzyme which synthesizes this ALA is called as ALA synthase, which needs vitamin B6 or PLP acids coenzyme. Okay, you don't need to explain the structure and all. Okay, so just simply you can write succinyl-CoA plus glycine, it will form aminolevulinic acid. Okay, but you should mention what is the enzyme and the coenzyme. Okay, the enzyme involved is ALA synthase and its coenzyme is PLP. Okay, so this is the first step in heme synthesis. Okay, in the next step, 2 ALA molecules will condense with each other. Okay, usually this part and this part will react with each other to form a porphyrin, to form a pyrrole ring. Okay, it will form a pyrrole ring. Okay, so when these 2 groups react with each other, it involves a loss of water molecule to form a pyrrole ring with acetic acid and propionic acid side chain. Okay, so this pyrrole ring with acetic acid and propionic acid side chain is called as porphobilinogen. Okay, so this is the pyrrole ring formed from succinyl-CoA and glycine. Okay, so the enzyme which synthesizes this porphobilinogen is called as porphobilinogen synthase. Okay, during this synthesis, 2 molecules of water is removed from ALA. So this enzyme is also called as ALA dehydratase. Okay, you can write any one name, PPG synthase or ALA dehydratase. Okay, so this ALA dehydratase is a metalloenzyme which needs zinc for its action. Okay, so with this first part of synthesis is over. We have constructed a pyrrole ring. Okay, what is the next part? We have to join 4 such pyrrole rings to synthesize the porphyrin ring. Okay, so how it is done, we will see now. Okay, so in the next step, 4 porphobilinogen molecules will be linked or attached to each other. Okay, so during this linkage, the amino group in each pyrrole ring will be removed as 4 ammonia molecules. Okay, so after removing the amino group, the remaining pyrrole ring will be joined with each other to form a linear structure called as hydroxymethylbilane. Okay, so 4 pyrrole rings will be joined to each other to form a linear structure called as hydroxymethylbilane. Okay, so this hydroxymethylbilane will immediately undergo spontaneous cyclization. The linear compound will undergo form a cyclical compound which is called as uroporphyrinogen 1. Okay, why it is called as uroporphyrinogen means normally in uroporphyrin the pyrrole rings will be connected by methynyl bridges, CH bridges. Okay, but here it is connected by CH2 bridges. Okay, methylene bridges. That's why the resulting product we call it with the suffix gen, uroporphyrinogen. Okay, so now this reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme which has 3 different names. Okay, so what is the action that is happening here? 4 porphobilinogen molecules are condensed with the loss of amino group. Okay, so this enzyme is called as porphobilinogen deaminase. Okay, this is one name. Next, what are the things formed in this reaction? We are getting hydroxymethylbilane and UPG1. Okay, so this enzyme is also called as hydroxymethylbilane synthase or uroporphyrinogen 1 synthase. Okay, so these are the 3 different names of the same enzyme. You can use any one enzyme, preferably uroporphyrinogen 1 synthase is the most commonly used name. Okay, next, in humans, this uroporphyrinogen 1 synthase will always be associated with another enzyme called as uroporphyrinogen 3 co-synthase. What is its action means? It will prevent the spontaneous cyclization. It will prevent the formation of UPG1. Instead, hydroxymethylbilane will be converted to UPG3. That's the reason in humans we always have 3 series compounds rather than 1 series compounds. Got it? So this reaction involves 2 parts. In the first part, 4 pyrrole rings are joined, 4 porphobilinogen are joined to form a linear structure called as hydroxymethylbilane. That reaction is catalyzed by UPG1 synthase or PPG deaminase or hydroxymethylbilane synthase. Okay, in the next step, this linear structure is cyclized by UPG3 co-synthase to form UPG3 or otherwise uroporphyrinogen 3. Okay, so with this, second part is over. We have joined 4 pyrrole rings to form a porphyrin ring. Okay, next, the third part. Okay, what is the third part? Converting the uroporphyrinogen into protoporphyrinogen. Okay, so this is the difference between uroporphyrin and protoporphyrin. Okay, so in uroporphyrin, the side chains are acetic acid and propionic acid in all the 4 pyrrole rings. But here it is methyl, vinyl, methyl, vinyl, methyl, propionic acid and methyl. Okay, so first what we are doing is we are converting all these acetyl groups into acetic acids into methyl groups. Okay, so how to do this? Acetic acid is a 2-carbon compound, whereas methyl group is a 1-carbon compound. Okay, so how to convert a 2-carbon compound to a 1-carbon compound? By removing a carbon atom in the form of carbon dioxide. Okay, so this reaction is called as decarboxylation reaction, and the enzyme for this reaction is decarboxylase. Okay, so here this reaction is catalyzed by an enzyme called as UPG decarboxylase, which will remove 1 carbon atom from the acetic acid of UPG to form methyl groups. Okay, all the acetic acid groups will be converted to methyl groups by our uroporphyrinogen decarboxylase. Okay, so once the acetic acid groups are converted to methyl groups, the resulting structure we call it as coproporphyrinogen 3. Okay, uroporphyrinogen is converted to coproporphyrinogen. Okay, next, what is the difference between this coproporphyrinogen and protoporphyrinogen? In coproporphyrinogen, in the first and second pyrrole ring, we have propionic acid side chain, whereas it will be replaced by vinyl group in protoporphyrin ring. Okay, so that is what we are going to do next. Okay, so the propionic acid side chain in ring 1 and ring 2 will be converted to vinyl group. Okay, so how it is done means propionic acid is a saturated compound. That means with only single bonds. Okay, whereas vinyl group is an unsaturated compound. That means with double bonds. Okay, so how to convert a single bond to a double bond? By removing the hydrogen atoms from the saturated compound. Okay, so this removal of hydrogen is called as oxidation. Okay, and the enzyme which oxidizes here is called as CpG oxidase. Okay, so this CpG oxidase will specifically oxidize the propionic acids present in ring 1 and ring 2 and converts it into vinyl group, so that CpG3 is converted to PPG3, protoporphyrinogen 3. Got it? Next, we don't want protoporphyrinogen. What we need? Protoporphyrin. Okay, so how to convert protoporphyrinogen to protoporphyrin? By converting the methylene bridges to methynyl bridges by converting the CH2 bridges to CH bridge. Okay, so how to convert CH2 to CH? Again, same removal of hydrogen, which is called as oxidation. And the enzyme is same oxidase, but here we call it as protoporphyrinogen oxidase. Got it? Next, once we get protoporphyrin, what is the next and the last step? Inserting the precious stone, our heme. Okay, so this insertion of iron is done by an enzyme ferrochelatase to form our heme, which can be in turn utilized for the synthesis of hemoglobin and other heme containing compounds. Okay, so this is how the heme is synthesized from succinyl-CoA and glycine. Okay, so this is the summary of the reaction taking place in the heme synthesis. Okay, so initially only I told there are few reactions which takes place in the mitochondria and few which takes place in the cytoplasm. Okay, so now we will see what are those reactions taking place in mitochondria and taking place in cytoplasm. Okay, so we all know that succinyl-CoA is an intermediate formed in electron transport chain. Okay, so sorry, in PCA cycle. Sorry, here succinyl-CoA is an intermediate formed in PCA cycle. Okay, we all know that PCA cycle takes place in mitochondria. So this reaction which involves succinyl-CoA also takes place in mitochondria. Okay, next, what is the main function of mitochondria? It helps in oxidation. Okay, it helps in oxidation as through PCA cycle, through electron transport chain. It helps in beta oxidation, all those things. It helps in oxidation of amino glutamic acid, all those things. Okay, so the main function of mitochondria is oxidation. Okay, so here the enzyme involving oxidation, that means CpG oxidase. Okay, so from that reaction onwards, the further reaction takes place in the mitochondria. The CpG oxidase, PpG oxidase, and ferrochelatase, these three enzymes are located in the mitochondria. Okay, so to sum up, the first reaction and the last three reaction takes place in the mitochondria, whereas the remaining takes place in the cytoplasm. Okay, so that's it about heme synthesis. Okay, so I will just summarize once again the pathway and then we will move on to the regulation. Okay, so the synthesis can be divided into 4 different parts. In the first part, what we are doing, from the raw materials, we are synthesizing the single pyrrole ring. Okay, so succinyl-CoA plus glycine condenses to form ALA. Okay, and the enzyme for this reaction is ALA synthase. Okay, in the next step, 2 such ALA molecules will condense with each other to form our pyrrole ring called as porphobilinogen. Okay, the enzyme for this reaction is porphobilinogen synthase or ALA dehydratase. Okay, next, what is the second part? 4 such pyrrole rings will be connected together to form our first porphyrin ring. Okay, so what is happening means 4 porphobilinogen molecules will be first condensed to form a linear structure called as hydroxymethylbilin. Okay, the enzyme for this reaction is UPG1 synthase or HMB synthase or PBG deaminase. Okay, so this reaction will always be followed by the action of UPG3 co-synthase, which will cyclize the hydroxymethylbilin to form uroporphyrinogen 3. Okay, next, the methyl acetic acid group in uroporphyrinogen 3 will be converted to methyl groups by decarboxylation reaction by the enzyme decarboxylase. Okay, so UPG3 decarboxylase will convert the UPG2 to CpG. Okay, next, in the CpG, the propionic acid chains are converted to vinyl chain by CpG oxidase to form the protoporphyrinogen 3 or protoporphyrinogen 9. Okay, next, the gen is removed. How? By oxidizing the bridges. The methylene bridge will be oxidized to methynyl bridge by the enzyme PPG oxidase to form protoporphyrin. Okay, next, the iron atom, the ferrous atom is added by ferrochelatase to form our heme. Okay, so that's it in brief about the heme synthesis. Next, we will move on to the regulation part. Okay, so regulation means here we will see how the rate of the reaction is adjusted according to our body's need. Okay, sometimes we may need more heme. That time, how the reactions are accelerated, and sometimes when we don't need heme, how it is switched off will be discussed here. Okay, to execute this regulation, we always need a regulatory point or a switch, which is called as rate limiting enzyme. The rate limiting enzyme in heme synthesis is nothing but the first enzyme, ALA synthase, aminolevulinic acid synthase. Okay, so usually we have two different isoforms of this enzyme, ALAS1 and ALAS2. Okay, so what are the two major sites where our heme synthesis takes place? One is in RBC and the other one is in liver. Okay, so the ALAS2, which is called as erythroid form, is present in RBC, whereas the ALAS1, which is also called as non-erythroid form, is present in liver. Okay, so out of these two forms, ALAS1 is the one which undergoes strict regulation. Okay, so we will discuss just how this ALAS1 is regulated in our body. Okay, so this regulation, this enzyme can be regulated by three different methods. The first one is regulation at the level of transcription. Okay, by acting at the gene, how it is regulated. Okay, so usually how it is regulated means, suppose when there is enough production of heme, the excess heme will go and bind to the gene and they will inhibit the gene expression, which is also called as repression of transcription. Okay, so the transcription will be inhibited, which is called as repression. Okay, but when you are taking some drugs like barbiturates, which needs heme for this catabolic, for detoxification, what will happen means this repression by heme will be reversed, which is called as de-repression, or otherwise called as increasing the transcription and translation of ALAS1 enzyme. Okay, so it is the regulation, the transcription and synthesis of ALAS1 is inhibited by heme, whereas this inhibition will be removed when the person is taking drugs like barbiturates. Okay, other than that, it has also been found that glucose can also inhibit the enzyme at transcription level. Okay, that is the reason starvation always precipitates the symptoms in patients suffering from porphyria. Okay, so this is the regulation at the level of transcription. Okay, so the next regulation is through allosteric modification. Okay, so allosteric modification means it is mainly mediated through the intermediates of the pathway. Okay, so intermediate, usually the substrates will activate the enzyme and the products will inhibit the enzyme. Okay, so here the product heme, when it is in excess, it can inhibit by acting at the transcription level, but usually it will take longer time. Okay, so in the meantime, this heme will get oxidized. The iron atom, ferrous atom will be oxidized to ferric state to form hematine. This hematine in turn will bind with the ALAS enzyme and inhibits its action. Okay, so this type of regulation is called as allosteric regulation. Apart from this, the compartmentalization. Some enzymes, as I said, some enzymes are present in mitochondria and some in cytoplasm. Okay, so this compartmentalization itself will help in regulating the pathway to some extent. Okay, so that's it about regulation. Coming to the last part, clinical significance. Here we will be discussing about the disorders of heme synthesis. So this heme synthesis disorders can be caused either due to congenital or acquired defect of the enzymes involved in the pathway. Okay, so either congenital or acquired. Whenever there is a defect in the enzyme, what will happen means heme will not be synthesized. Okay, but that is not the major problem. Okay, there will also be an accumulation of the intermediates like uroporphyrinogen, protoporphyrinogen, coproporphyrinogen, all those porphyrins. Okay, so such accumulation of intermediates or porphyrins leads to a condition called as porphyria. Okay, so there are many different types of porphyria depending on the level at which the enzyme is defective. About this porphyria, I'll be posting a separate video I'll be posting a separate video next time. Okay, so with this we will wind up about the heme synthesis. Okay, so this heme synthesis is an important 10-mark question, so please try to read it elaborately. Okay, so if you have any doubts or if you want to give any suggestions, can please comment in the comment box. Thank you.